To bring in Rich Anderson now, the chairman of the Republican Party of Virginia. Rich, good to have you back with us, sir.
Hey, good to be back, Vince.
It is a big deal. The election is now going to be underway tomorrow. How are you going to be spending the day, sir?
Well, I'll be watching what's going on. I'm also going to be in the car headed down to Virginia Beach for a pretty large rally for 2nd District Congresswoman Jen Kiggins, and then working my way back across the Commonwealth at a number of events through the weekend. But tomorrow is the first day of early voting, both in person and by mail-in. And it starts what we call voting month. In fact, voting month and a half. It's a 45-day period that culminates on Tuesday, November the 5th, which is traditional election day.
Yeah, and the Republican Party, everybody I've been talking to, including you, I think, on this subject, everyone's saying go ahead and get that vote locked in as early as you can, right?
Get it locked in early. It's all the way from President Trump down to our precinct captains. That's what we're telling people. Lock it in early. I think we can trust our mail-in ballot system. That's the way I do it. I'm on the permanent absentee ballot roster, and it works perfectly. Every day you get a text message to your phone telling where it is, all the way from when it leaves the registrar's office coming to you till when you put it back in the mail and it makes its way back. They tell you when they've received it, and they tell you when they've counted it. So you can trust that. But if you're one of these people that just can't stomach the mail for voting, go in and vote early, because starting tomorrow, those voting offices will be open.
Yeah, and the Virginia Elections website provides all the addresses and times of all the various places that you can go to, depending on what county you're in. Tomorrow morning at 8 a.m., Corey and I will be at the Fairfax County Government Center right at 8 a.m. Because I'm going to vote right there, and our goal is to meet up with anybody else who wants to join us, kind of turn this thing into a party.
All right. On the first day of early voting, I walked in there with Glenn Youngkin as he cast his vote in 2021.
Cool. I love that. We'll see.
Yeah.
Well, my guess is he'll probably do the same thing tomorrow.
Probably so. Probably so.
Okay. All right. Good. And Jen Kiggins, you talk about Virginia Beach and District 2. I was talking earlier this week. The Associated Press had a big report on this, and Jen Kiggins has been speaking very publicly about it. There's a left-wing organization that has been trying to put basically phony third-party candidates on the ballot across the country, including in Jen Kiggins' district. Do you know if it's any more widespread than just Virginia 2?
Well, I first learned about this. They've been so surreptitious about this. I had not even heard of this until Congresswoman Kiggins sent me a text 2 days ago about it.
Yeah.
And she said she was going to start speaking about it. So evidently they are engaged in some sort of subterranean guerrilla warfare trying to bring out these fake candidates, which tells me one thing. They are worried about this election.
Well, for sure, and they don't think they can win it in a democratic way, so they have to try and rig the outcome. How are you feeling about the presidential election right now, Rich, in Virginia?
I am feeling very good. Governor Youngkin, who really has access to some high resolution data, as you would expect, he is feeling very good about it, and I share in his confidence about the ultimate outcome. I believe Virginia still is in play. I know the left and those in the media who want to buoy them up are saying that Virginia is lost, but I feel a pathway here. Just remember, this is a state that in 2020, Joe Biden carried about slightly over 10 points, and just 1 year later, Governor Glenn Youngkin won it by 2 points.
Yeah.
And so we're moving in the right direction. So stand by. We're working it hard. I'll just give you a quick thumbnail sketch about our force structure. I couldn't be more pleased. 2020, the Trump campaign did not play in Virginia in a heavy way, but this year they are here. They're firing on all cylinders. We've got 18 regional Trump offices and strategic locations, dozens of staffers, boatloads of money. We've got 5,000 poll watchers trained up and ready to go, 500 fired up attorneys. We are working with designating officers of elections who will oversee this in polling locations. And so far, for our election integrity effort, we've recruited over 8,000 volunteers, and they will be in all 133 localities with the Commonwealth, and they'll be there for all 45 days of this election cycle. We're doing comprehensive training for them 4 days a week by Zoom and 5 days a week in person. And our election integrity staff, we got 9 folks there, a director and a deputy, and then worker bees. They augment the existing Republican Party of Virginia election integrity program. And as you know, the Attorney General, Jason Miyares, stood up a pretty effective election integrity unit within the Office of the Attorney General. But the thing that gives me the greatest confidence is Governor Youngkin has issued executive orders. I think I got these numbers right, 31 and 35, but they are all about protecting the ballot. It's considered to be now one of the best in the nation. It's daily list maintenance. They've removed 6,000 plus non-citizen voters. They cross-checked this with DMV data, jury lists. They have done machine testing to make sure that these machines are working properly and are accurately recording votes. And in Virginia, we don't use voting machines. We use counting machines. That is lost on people. We use counting machines, and it works. And the reason we know it works is just down in the 5th District, we had that recount with Bob Good and John McGuire, and it validated the recount, validated everything. So
right.
I am feeling very good about all this. Governor Youngkin has taken immense leadership of this program in Virginia.
And that is an important distinction. And voting machines are the machines where people push the screen in order to indicate who they want to vote for. That's not what Virginia does. Virginia's got a paper ballot. You fill out a paper ballot, you slide it into the machine, it records your vote. And you're saying that you've got confidence that it's
does it all,
accurately picking it up.
Correct. And you have the paper as the backup and for a cross-check in a recount.
Yeah. Yeah, amazing. Do you expect President Trump to pay us a visit in the Commonwealth in the weeks ahead?
Well, I have been told that that's under consideration. Remember, he's got a whole country that he's got to set his foot down in, all those states, as many states as possible. I don't have a definite or firm date right now, but I believe he will come back here at least one more time. But the guy is everywhere. He's one ball of fire. He's energetic. Let's just say that. So
I know.
I'm prayerful that we will see him here. And at least, if not him, a member of the Trump family or our vice presidential nominee.
But in other words, they still do take seriously the chances of winning in Virginia. I remember it was early, I think, this month, some reports that the Trump campaign was beginning to pull some resources from Virginia, throw them towards Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin. But it sounds to me like what you're saying is that they very much see this state still in play.
Correct. I've got eyes on, hands on everything that the Trump folks are doing here, and they have not throttled back one bit. I think this is part of that psychological warfare you see coming out of the left.
Yeah, for sure. And then finally, just to reiterate the point that we started with, tomorrow is the first day of early voting in the state. What are you telling people to do? And, should we overwhelm the polls tomorrow if we so desire?
I would love to see that, because the earlier you bank your vote, the quicker we start getting to that place where we will prevail on November the 5th. It's very easy to determine your voting location. Most voters, if they can locate it, they still have a voter ID card that tells their voting location. Additionally, you can go online, just Google Virginia Department of Elections, and it's a very user-friendly drill down to find out exactly the address where you go vote and the times that they're open.
All right. Well, the big game starts tomorrow in Virginia. And thank you, as always, for your time today. Rich Anderson, chairman of the Republican Party in the state. Thank you, sir.